We've managed to breach the Battlefield headquarters here in Stockholm at DICE to get the latest on the multiplayer experience, and we're here with Lars, who's, well, I guess you're the chief responsible person for the multiplayer experience in Battlefield 3. So what were your initial idea, and what did you want to do with the multiplayer now that you got Frostbite 2?
Ooh. Frostbite 2, to be honest, it's like a kid going to a toy store and kind of ask them to pick freely what they want. So it is really, it's tailored for us to build the games we want to build. So what I really wanted to do, having been the lead designer on Battlefield 2 and now building Battlefield 3, of course it was to bring back some of the key things that people really loved. So that is kind of first on the checklist. For example, jets are back, or the thing that you think might not upset people, but prone is of course back. So a lot of little and large things that are kind of brought back. But the main thing with the engine is that it allows us to do so much more that we wouldn't even have considered while making Battlefield 2.
And really, in that sense, this is the sequel to Battlefield 2, not sort of building on Bad Company, but to people who've played Bad Company online a lot, how's the experience different?
The main difference, I would say, I mean, you can't neglect the fact that I started working with Battlefield 12 years ago when we did the first demo, and it always been under the wings of DICE. So we've been building Battlefield, for every title, we kind of learned more things. And whether it's a console title, whether it's a PC title or multi-SKU, whether it's the core Battlefield or whether it's Bad Company, we've picked up so much that Battlefield 3 wouldn't have been the same without those products. Yeah, it's very much kind of a recollection of all experience up to this date.
And if we go into a little bit about modes and things like that, what can people expect, and what can you tell us about today?
What I can talk about today is the fact that, of course, yes, we will ship with Conquest. I wouldn't bring back the jets if I wasn't to allow you to use them in a good 64-player Conquest match. Rush, of course, as you played today, is part of it, and what the kind of Battlefield audience have learned to like in our Battlefield games. Also new, which we talked about today, is the Team Deathmatch mode. Going back to the old days when we made Battlefield 2, I would say that we were, as a studio, very set on creating our own modes. It's the Battlefield way, or play something else. You are a team player and you play Battlefield modes. That's the way we ship it. Nowadays, I think we've gone a bit wiser. We've grown as a company. We have more people, more opinions, and we come to realize that it's better to cater for all the different types of players that are out there. And to be honest, having played all the other games out on the market in Team Deathmatch and knowing what we can do today with the Frostbite 2 engine, it would be almost criminal to not provide players the possibility to play in this beautiful world in the explosive, destructive environment, downtown Paris, for example. So it is really, I'm really happy to be able to provide it.
Is that sometimes a problem for a developer? Because I see some first-person shooters ship with like 12 different multiplayer modes because they have so many ideas on what to do. But then again, you really want to focus on the modes that people will play, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different schools on how to do this. We could probably deliver millions of modes. It's not that we lack the ideas, but in them we want to provide good solid modes that we know people like.
So if we move on to the classes, the kits, what kind of philosophies govern the way you've designed these this time around, and then what do you want to sort of change up about that?
So going back to what we talked about before, if Battlefield 2 was all about team play and all about only Battlefield modes, of course we are still the same studio and I'm still kind of in charge of multiplayer experience. So we will definitely provide kind of all the kits are catered to be a solid brick kind of in the wall that makes up a squad. But the interesting thing is that we really focus on that when you come in as a lone wolf, you play alone, you play for your own score. It's up to you to customize your kit the way you want it. And if you are the assault soldier, if you don't like running around healing people, you can lean much more towards being the explosive guy with, you know, you have 3 different attachment points, so maybe an underslung grenade attachment and so on to kind of build your playing style. Or you want to go more medic and tune it that way. So it's really, as a lone soldier, yes, we have 4 kits, but the combinations, the number of variations are endless.
I think you said something interesting there when we talked before the interview, that you really want to create kits where people play all of them and don't sort of specialize too much on one way and just play the game in one specific way.
Yeah, it's once again going back to the fact that play it your way, accept how people play. Some people will look at the game or look at the videos now and say, I will play sniper in that game. I'm gonna unlock everything and I'm gonna take all the wards. And that I totally respect, and that's the beauty of this game. But for me as developer, while building the game, I want to feel that I can go in on the battlefield with any of our kits and feel that I have a purpose, motivation. There's no kit that you really choose to not use in the game because it's a lesser kit. Then we failed as developers. So I really feel that we go in the right direction. We're adding all the cool goodies that you would like to have in there in combination with kind of the team play factors for each and every kit to in combination kind of make the perfect squad.
So we tried it on PC, and that's the lead SKU as far as I understand it. Will there be any differences in multiplayer between the PC version and the console version?
We do build a game, I mean, specifically for each SKU, so we do modifications in order to give you a good, solid experience. There are differences, but not really anything I can bring up here today. But in the end, the key importance is that whatever SKU you play on, you're going to have a really good time. Otherwise, we failed.
Yeah, I mean, that's often something that the PC players these days are a bit worried about. You know, is it a console game? Is it a PC game? And perhaps the difference isn't as clear-cut as it used to be back when you guys had Battlefield 2, for instance. But it's still, I think they're still important to sort of iterate that you're making a game for PC players.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's more things we haven't talked about here today that definitely will convince people that we are taking PC seriously, as well as consoles. So with Bad Company and with you know, the fact that we come out on all 3 SKUs, makes it really important that we take each one of them seriously, and that's what we intend to do. The fact that we now play PC today and deliver that experience is just one sign of that we take PC seriously.
And it's going to come out fairly soon. You're sort of sprinting towards home right now, and you got E3 next week. But where do you feel that you are in terms of the multiplayer, and will we get the beta? When will we get the beta?
There's no date yet in public for the beta, so I will need to get back on that one. But yeah, we are working hard, and we're trying to forget that it's sunny outside, and we just the game is coming together, as you hopefully saw today. We won't rest until it's utterly polished and really. The key thing in a game like this, you know, you have the single player experience where it's all about immersion, it's about telling a good story, it's about really kind of making you feel that you're there. We want to do the same thing for multiplayer. What usually comes in first is the sensation of kind of perceived realism. I'm here, you look at kind of the new animations, you look at the city environment, you try to destroy everything and so on. While for Battlefield, it's always been about the long tail. And that's where the bread and butter lies. You really need to get it solid so that, like Battlefield 2 is still being played after 7 years, and that's where we want to take this game as well. We have kind of separate sets of animations for multiplayer. This summer we will play. We try to shorten times. We may still make them look good, but it's always gameplay that's going to win. If you focus on anything but gameplay, you're going to lose. And that's kind of, this summer is all about kind of shortening times, polishing. Ooh, I got stopped by an animation, or this effect is preventing me from kind of seeing this or that. So one thing is to get it all together, but the glue in the end to just play and iterate is really what's going to make it rock solid.